this is a question as far as, because you, like you said, you came, you went away, you came back. You, for example, running into you at Clash in Italy. When you watch the product today, when you see what we're doing, do you think anything's missing? Do you like what you see? Is it when you watch it?
Yeah. So there's so whatever it takes to get the audience. If you don't have that aura, then you have to do moves. If you have the aura, then just stand there. It's really dependent on the person. And the wrestling in NXT is very different than on SmackDown and Raw.
Yes.
It's action based. I wrestled Ethan Page.
I didn't know if you wanted to tell the Ethan Page story.
Which one?
We'll have him on the pod eventually. The one where you told him what he could work on to get better.
Oh God, yeah. But I wrestled him, and they're like, "Yo, you gotta go here, and you gotta keep up." And whew, cardio was tested that day.
Yeah.
But I wrestled NXT style, and I was go. But it's funny because when my daughter was with us in NXT, they're like, "Yeah, we got to go. We cannot really stop and sell and get these moments." But stars, a star is a star, and once you're a star, they just want to look at you, man. Like Randy's the what's it called, the end of the continuum for doing as little as possible, and there's guys that don't stop, and wherever you fit in the middle is dependent on your ability to captivate, And there's, I used to be like, oh, don't do all the flippity stuff. And then I'm like, I'm not qualified to say that because I can't do.
That's what I was saying.
Flippity stuff.
Right.
If I could do a 450 and I chose not to, then I'm qualified to talk about it. But if you cannot do that stuff, you're really not qualified to say, don't do that, because you can't. And if you could, you probably would, because it's pretty cool to do it.
But how many of these kids coming up today, and I'm saying these kids coming up today, can do a Maserati clutch, right?
So, Timmy Baltimore, good friend of ours.
Of course, we love Timmy.
And he gave me permission to say that he's the only guy I ever hit it on, and that's why he's like that.
I don't know. We have to get Timmy on here so he can defend.
He said it was okay. So what it is, it's a Cobra clutch when I'm standing on the top rope and the person's standing in front of me, and we jump off the top rope and land in a camel clutch with a Cobra clutch grip. So it's a submission, high impact.
Top rope.
Submission, top rope.
Yeah. There was every now and then
It's hard to get
running
it.
was involved, and it kind of is. There's a jump,
So the thing is, when I call for it, it's coming, right? I, say you're going to see a new move today. It's never been done. Stands for M, Maserati. This stands for clutch. So in the middle of the heat, I'd look around, and then I'd hit the ropes and I get stopped. Or I'd climb the ropes and I'd get stopped, or whatever. So no one knew how it started because I would get stopped in various different ways. And it was, that was when, and those are live events, right? When you can do, on Raw, my matches are probably average 4 minutes, on live events is 20 minutes or whatever. So you have time to paint these pictures and have fun and experiment. And that was a year-long experiment. Swagger and I had this match. We did around the world. We called the match around the world. We did it everywhere, to the point where I think we did it in Georgia. And someone said, "Hey, you did that last year." And I was like, "Ooh, time to change it up." Because, we know the 5-minute handshake spot and all that stuff.
I always look at the card because the internal sheets will sometimes say what the card was the last time. And it's funny how quick it comes around to where,
I actually looked at that.
I did a cage, I did a street. It comes around. We're back in these markets, and those crowds are often come back. The live events are such a fun experience. So if they saw that one, they might have seen it a second time. But
yeah, it was still probably good.
Still good.
Actually, it was Atlanta where I did the first Cobra.
Yeah.
A guy in Japan years ago, he showed me this thing where he'd make his arm into this little puppet, and it just came to me, man. I said to Cena, right, because we're always sitting at the front, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna try something. Watch it." I think it was Chavo or Carlito, and I'm like doing my comeback, like jab, jab, jab. I transform my arm, hit it, oop, and then I do like a roll up, a schoolboy. I called it the schoolboy from hell, and the crowd laughed, and they never seen it before. So he's like, I keep that. So I only did it on live events. And then one day, Ricky Steamboat was my producer, and we came to TV, and he's like, Vince, you're going over. It was like Zack Ryder. And he's like, Vince wants to see the Cobra. I'm like, how does he even know about the Cobra?
Yeah.
And he's like, he reads the reports. And I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, we did the Cobra. And
The rest of
it was
us.
like, it was like 3 weeks later. And I'd gesture for it. And I'd see people in my peripheral like standing up, like they loved this damn Cobra. And I'm like, really? Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy. One of the biggest compliments I ever got, and I got four of them, 4 different countries: Australia, United States, England, and Canada. And somebody from that country, they went to an elementary school and the Cobra was banned in their school. And I'm like, damn, that means that it was like pop culture. Kids were doing
Yeah.
it. So like the Oba strut, like kids are doing that everywhere.
Yeah, you came in here Oba strutting.
Yeah, it's fun.
I always look at the end of the shows, TV, live event, whatever it is. If you leave and there's little kids kind of wrestling with each other in the parking lot, or you see the back of their car and you can see them, you know it was a successful evening.
Core memories, man.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. I want to ask you a question, if you can, about being a dad, man. Because I remember I texted you right away. When
Yeah.
you had Libby, call her Libby or Libby?
Liberty, yeah, Libby.
Yeah, Libby.
Libby.
And I was,
Libby Bop.
because I know how important your dad was in your life as a father figure. And one, to be a wrestler, but to become a dad, man.
Yeah.
And I gave you a hug when I first saw you about being a dad, because it's has to be the coolest thing you've ever done,
I wish I had done it sooner
right?
because, and you know, there's other dads in here and moms and just the business is very selfish.
Yes.
And it teaches you to be selfish, and you're
You have to be.
right. You're surrounded by where you wear it like like it becomes natural to wear. Like, this is what we do. It's dog eat dog. This is what we do. It becomes very different when you're not selfish for you anymore.
Right.
You still fight. It's still dog eat dog in a way, but it's about the benefit of someone else. So for me, I just wish I wish I had done it sooner. And that, you know, you mentioned that moment with your dad and your daughter. We don't have a lot of time in the wrestling business in the first place. To have over, I remember Al saying, to have over 2 years or something, to have over 5 years, God, 10 years. But that is one of the, you know, larger reasons why whenever I got the opportunity to main event or WrestleMania, like, there she is. She's in the front row.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like those were for her. And
Right.
you know, inside you're like, yeah, it's also for me. You know, like
Right.
you know, but also it makes your decision making a lot different.
It's also good that you had her not in 2012 when we
Yeah.
were on the road 300
Right.
days a year. So you get a little. So my whole wrestling career was also, I'm going to get emotional again. I suffered the whole time. The whole time. As fun as it was, and as a blessing, as incredible as it was, I suffered the whole time being away from my daughter. And I remember one time, it's my trigger, you know? I went into Danny Davis's office and I'm like, I was pulling my fucking hair out. And I was 5 months because I was afraid to cross the border, and I was Canadian. I wasn't working in the US. I wasn't breaking any laws, but I didn't want to get stuck because I was turned away once because I tried to get a non-academic vocational student visa or something so I can stay there. And anyway, 5 months, I didn't go home, and I was dying inside. And I went to Danny. I go, Danny, please tell me something that's going to help this because I'm really having a hard time. And he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, no, I never forgive myself to this day for the time away from my kids.
Oh,
and I'm
man.
like, God damn it, Danny. That's not what I needed to hear right now, you know? And I'm like, man. So the fact that she's in the business is really good because it kind of, you know, you never get it back. But at this point in someone's life, their kids have careers, you see them less. Like when a kid graduates high school, I think you've spent 90% of the time you're going to spend with them. And then what? The kid, like my daughter lives in Orlando right now. So if she wasn't working, if TNA and WWE didn't have that relationship, what am I going to see her? Three times a year?
Yeah.
That's horrible. That's like not good. So anyway, I was really spoiled and very lucky and fortunate to have this last year and 9 months to see her every TV loop. So it was hard. It was very hard for me, man. It was not easy. And then when I came home from the road, she went to university. And I'm like, wow, what the hell's going on? So that's why I'm asking, because but luckily you don't have the same schedule because I wouldn't want you to suffer the way I did.
Well,
And that's why all the parents that were on the road, I always ask them about their kids. And I feel like we bonded at the time because we were sharing that suffering.
Yeah.
And it's hard. How can you say you're suffering? You're living, it's the most fun you'll ever have in your whole life is being on the road with the WWE, traveling the world, making millions, entertaining fans, visiting countries you never would have, New Zealand and South Africa and like Russia and China. And like, it's the greatest time you'll ever have. But at the same time, you're not fucking there. You're not there. You're not there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's this weird dichotomy of having the greatest time of your life, but also simultaneously, it's a part of you that's suffering, man. It's
one of the things though that I found before I ever had kids, and it's largely now present as well that I do. Wrestling can take the family away from each other, but in my case, a lot of my family live their life on screen. So people don't realize, as far as my brother and I didn't grow up together. We didn't have Thanksgivings together. The age gap was too much.
What's the age gap?
16 years.
Wow.
Us being brothers was on television.
Wow.
Was on TV.
Wow,
and like you had that, you were away from her, and then you get to come back, and that's part of where you get to connect. So Dusty has a promo with Dustin, the View Never Changes promo. I think it's the best promo of all time, but the sad part, it's a shoot. You know, like that's a tricky thing, and I would always err on the side of I'm good with having them on TV. I'm good because I don't want them to not share in this. They may not know what it is right now, but I want them to share in this. You know, when my dad brought me on stage for his WCW Hall of Fame, I thought that was the biggest night of my life. I thought I was debuting in the wrestling business. You know, I was 8 years old, right? And 8, and I got to I get to share it with him. So it certainly gives and it takes. But as far as becoming a parent, which is you now, how many times now?
Oh yeah, I got my son Marco's 7.
7.
And my daughter Milena is turning 5 in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
3.
3, yeah. And there's 24. So when Milena was born, Bianca left a month later to Orlando.
Yeah.
To earn, she wasn't signed yet, but she went down there and she busted her ass, trained at 3 different schools and got the tryout and crushed it and got so their relationship is, you know, FaceTime. And and even my son sometimes, he's like, he knows I used to be a wrestler and he's seen a couple matches, but he wants to see it, right? He wants to see Dad wrestle a little bit more. And that's one of the reasons why I did all these stem cells, and PRP and red light therapy, so I can do this again. I want to wrestle in front of him.
I remember Goldberg talking about wanting to wrestle in front of his son.
Yeah, I want to wrestle in front of my son.
And I think certain people didn't understand it. I knew right away. I go, yep, that's probably more motivating than anything.
Yeah,
to have them see it one time, because
that's why I wanted to be in the.
Yeah,
I have the World Championships coming up again September 5th, and I want to keep winning. Every time I go up a belt, I want to win them and win them. And it's because you can tell your kids shit, but I want to show them.
Yeah. And
when sometimes he goes, "Why do you have to go to practice?" It's because I want to be a world champion, and one day you're gonna have to go to practice to be a world champion too. Yeah. And watch what I'm doing. Watch. And I came home and they go, "There's the medal, man. It's for you, you know." You have to show them. And I do want to wrestle. I want to have, and all of a sudden, so my wrestling career ended because I was not capable. I'm capable again. And for some reason, because I was not capable for several years, I kind of didn't get mileage in my body. My 40s was, I preserved myself. And all of a sudden I'm moving and everyone's like, how the hell are you moving like this? Handsprings up and over. I can move like, it's insane. And jiu-jitsu is a big part of it. Yeah. The athleticism required for jiu-jitsu is very, very on par with, you know, to do a rolling bow and arrow choke is the same as an Oklahoma roll. It's the same.